My wife demanded I sell my late mother's house to fund her startup. I refused. She forged my signature and sold it anyway. What she didn't know is my mother put the house in an irrevocable trust. The buyer was my lawyer, and she had just committed felony fraud, and then… I, 36 male, lost my mom 2 years ago. Cancer. The only good thing that came from those awful months was getting to spend time with her at the end. She left me her house. Nothing fancy, just a 3-bedroom in a decent neighborhood. But it was where I grew up. Every corner has memories. My wife Camille, 34, and I have been married 7 years. No kids yet. She always said we needed to be financially ready first. Funny how that works out. 6 months ago, Camille got obsessed with starting a luxury wellness brand. She'd been following these entrepreneurship influencers who sell courses about dropshipping and passive income, spent $3,000 on their masterclass without telling me. Then she quit her job as a marketing coordinator because she needed to focus on her vision. Last month, she sat me down with a whole PowerPoint presentation. Professional stuff, market analysis, projections, the works. She needed $150K initial investment. Her plan? I sell mom's house. It's just sitting there empty, she said. Your mom would want you to succeed. I said no. Told her the house wasn't just an asset to liquidate. We had savings she could use to start smaller, test the market first. She called me unsupportive, said I was choosing a building over our future. The fight was ugly. She stayed at her friend Astrid's for 3 days, came back all apologetic, said she understood, would find another way. I believed her. I'm an idiot. Yesterday, I got a call from my neighbor near mom's house. Said there was a sold sign in the yard and people measuring the driveway. My blood went ice cold. Called the realtor on the sign. They confirmed the house had been sold to a cash buyer for $380K, closing in 2 weeks. The seller? Me, apparently. I drove straight there. Sure enough, sold sign. Lockbox on the door. My hands were shaking so bad I could barely dial my phone. See, here's what Camille didn't know. Mom didn't just leave me the house in her will. She was too smart for that. She'd set up an irrevocable trust 5 years before she died, with me as beneficiary and her estate lawyer, Mr. Brennan, as trustee. I couldn't sell that house if I wanted to without going through him and the trust's requirements. Called Mr. Brennan immediately. He was very interested to hear about this sale, asked me to forward any documentation I had. Then he said something that made my stomach drop. Jerome, did you recently sign any papers your wife gave you? Maybe told you they were for something else? 3 weeks ago, Camille had me sign what she said were forms for her LLC formation. I'd been working late, exhausted, signed without reading. I know. Stupid doesn't begin to cover it. Mr. Brennan told me not to contact anyone, not to confront Camille, and to come to his office first thing in the morning. Said we needed to document everything properly. I went home, acted normal. Camille was bouncing around the kitchen, happier than I'd seen her in months. Talking about vendor meetings, packaging samples. I wanted to throw up. This morning, I met with Mr. Brennan. The buyer of my house? Mr. Brennan's partner at the law firm, Mr. Gallagher, who'd agreed to play along once they realized what was happening. Camille had forged the deed transfer documents. She'd also somehow convinced a notary to stamp them. Mr. Brennan is investigating that part. The sale was completely fraudulent. We're talking felony fraud, forgery, identity theft. Mr. Brennan laid out my options. I could confront her and try to work it out privately, or we could let this play out, gather evidence, and make sure she faces consequences. I'm sitting in my car right now. She just texted me asking what I want for dinner, with a heart emoji. I texted back, whatever you want, babe. The closing is in 13 days. Let's see how this plays out. Update 1. It's been 5 days since I found out, and Camille's really ramping up the entitled behavior. I'm documenting everything like Mr. Brennan said. First, she went shopping. Came home with bags from Nordstrom, Saks, some boutique furniture store. Just getting a few professional pieces for meetings, she said. First impressions matter in business. Probably dropped 10K. Then she hired a brand consultant, some guy named Philippe, who charges $500 per hour to tell her what colors represent aspirational wellness. She had him over to our apartment for a 3-hour session. I had to sit there and listen to them discuss whether sage green or eucalyptus better captured her essence. But the real kicker came yesterday. She called a family meeting, had both our families on Zoom, her parents, her brother Dominic, my dad, my sister Eloise, announced that we were taking the next step in our journey. Jerome and I are liquidating some assets to fund my business, she said, all professional. We're so grateful for your support. My dad, who loved my mom deeply even after their divorce, asked, what assets? Camille, smooth as silk. Just some properties that aren't generating income. Better to invest in our future. I sat there, silent. Eloise was staring at me through the screen, confused. She knew exactly what properties we had. Just Mom's house. I gave her a tiny headshake. Not now. After the call, Camille was glowing. Your family seemed supportive. Yeah, I said. They did. She's also started spending money we don't have yet. Put deposits down on a $30 business course, mentorship, a co-working space membership, $800 per month, a Tesla Model X for business meetings, some AI software suite that's $2K a month. She showed me the Tesla paperwork proudly. Delivery in 3 weeks, just after closing. Here's the psycho part. She's keeping a spreadsheet of how she'll pay me back. Has this whole repayment plan mapped out, based on her projected revenues, like she's being responsible about spending my dead mother's house money that she stole. Mr. Brennan, meanwhile, has been busy. Found the notary, goes by Rita, works out of a strip mall. She's already flipped on Camille, admitted she never actually saw me sign anything. Camille paid her $500 cash to stamp documents without proper verification. Rita's looking at losing her commission in criminal charges, so she's singing like a canary. We also have the digital trail. Camille used her laptop to edit the documents. Metadata shows her username and timestamps. She researched how to forge signatures on Google, actually bookmarked a YouTube tutorial. She practiced my signature about 100 times on a legal pad, found it in her desk drawer at home when she was out. But Mr. Brennan wants more. We need her to complete the crime, he said. Attempted fraud is one thing, completed fraud is another. So we're waiting. Mr. Gallagher is playing the eager buyer, already transferred the earnest money to an escrow account, actually just moved it to another account at the firm. Camille thinks she's getting $380 in 8 days. Last night, she was looking at commercial real estate listings for her flagship wellness center. Found a spot downtown, only $15 a month. We could put the lease in the company name, she told me. Build business credit. Smart thinking, I said. I'm not sleeping, can barely eat, but I'm seeing this through. Update 2. The entitlement has reached astronomical levels. 3 days until the closing, and Camille's gone full monster. Started with her quitting her friend Thalia's wedding party because, quote, I can't be associated with such small-minded people anymore. Thalia's crime? Suggesting Camille was moving too fast with her business. Then she called my sister Eloise, told her we were planning to renovate Mom's house into a wellness retreat, and would she like to invest? Get in on the ground floor? Eloise called me immediately, panicking about Mom's house. I had to talk her down, promise everything was under control without giving anything away. The audacity of trying to scam my sister with my mother's house. 2 days ago, she fired our cleaning lady, Lucia, who's been helping us for 3 years. Why? Successful people have executive assistants, not maids. She actually said that to Lucia's face. Lucia, who sends half her paycheck to her family overseas. I Venmo'd Lucia 3 months' pay and apologies. But yesterday was something else. Camille's parents, Walter and Diane, came over. They're decent people, teachers, both of them. Worked their whole lives. Camille sat them down and explained how they should refinance their house to invest in her business. It's a sure thing, she said, showing them her made-up projections. You could double your retirement fund. Her mom was hesitant. Sweetheart, we're not business people. That's exactly why you need me to manage it for you, Camille said. I'll take care of everything. They left looking confused, but said they'd think about it. The woman was ready to tank her own parents' retirement for her fake business. Then came the nuclear option. This morning, Camille told me she's pregnant, just dropped it casually while I was drinking coffee. Oh, by the way, I'm late. Took a test. We're having a baby. Perfect timing with the business, right? They'll have such an amazing life. I nearly choked. We haven't been intimate in 2 months. She's been too stressed. But here's the thing. I saw her buy tampons last week. Saw the box in the bathroom trash yesterday. She's fake pregnant to lock me down. Probably figures if the house thing goes bad somehow, I won't leave a pregnant wife. Or she'll miscarry from the stress if I confront her. I texted Mr. Brennan about this development. His response: document everything. So I did. Took photos of the tampon box in the trash, the receipt from CVS, everything. Mr. Gallagher called her yesterday about the closing. She was so sweet on the phone. "Oh yes, Mr. Gallagher, my husband and I are so grateful for your quick response. This house means so much to us, and knowing it's going to a good family just warms our hearts." A good family. The house her husband's dead mother left him. Warms her heart. She's already transferred the Tesla deposit, signed a letter of intent for the commercial space. Told Philippe she's bringing him on full-time as creative director at $150 a year. Tomorrow is the final walkthrough. She doesn't plan to attend. Told Mr. Gallagher that I'll handle it since Jerome knows the house better. No kidding. Mr. Brennan has everything ready. Local PD is aware. The district attorney is interested. Apparently they've been trying to nail that notary Rita for other sketchy stuff, and this is their golden ticket. Camille made a spa appointment for the closing day. Full treatment. "I want to look my best for our new beginning," she said. I smiled and offered to pay for it. "You deserve it, babe." One more day. Update 3. It's 3 p.m. I'm writing this from Mr. Brennan's office. My hands won't stop shaking. This morning, Camille was floating, literally dancing around the apartment. She made this elaborate breakfast, talking about baby names, nursery designs. The performance was incredible. She even had a Pinterest board called Tiny CEO Nursery she'd apparently been working on for weeks. At 10 a.m., she left for the spa, kissed me goodbye. "When I get back, we'll be rich." Well, richer. Well, you know what I mean. I knew exactly what she meant. At 11 a.m., I met Mr. Brennan, Mr. Brap Gallagher, Detective Morrison, and Detective Huang at the house, Mom's house. We did the final walkthrough. The detectives stayed in their car. Mr. Brennan had all the documentation, the original trust documents, the forged signatures, Rita the notary's confession, the metadata from the document tampering, bank records showing the deposits. Camille paid, text messages between Camille and Rita, Camille's practice signatures. At 1 p.m., Camille texted, "At the spa, getting my nails done. Should I do nude or red for our new beginning?" I texted back, "Red. Definitely red." At 2 p.m., we were all at the title company's office. Camille arrived at 2:15, glowing from her spa day. Red nails, like I suggested. She air-kissed Mr. Gallagher, thanked him again for being so understanding about the quick closing. We sat down at the conference table. The title agent started the paperwork. Camille was practically vibrating with excitement. She kept touching her stomach, really selling the pregnancy thing. Then the title agent frowned. "Mr. Russo, there seems to be an issue with the deed." Camille's smile flickered. "What issue? We provided everything." "Well," the agent said, "according to our search, this property is held in an irrevocable trust. It can't be sold without trustee approval." Camille laughed. Actually laughed. "Oh, that's outdated. Jerome's mom passed away. The trust dissolved with her death, right, honey?" I stayed quiet. Mr. Brennan stood up. "Actually, Mrs. Russo, I'm the trustee of that trust, and I certainly didn't approve any sale." The color drained from her face. Who are you?" "Jerome's mother's attorney, also the trustee of her irrevocable trust, which is very much still active." She turned to me. "Jerome, what's going on?" I pulled out my phone, showed her the photo I took of her practice signatures. "You tell me." The panic in her eyes was something to see. She started to stand, but Detective Morrison and Detective Huang walked in. "Camille Russo?" Morrison said, "We need to ask you some questions about fraudulent real estate documents." She tried to run, actually tried to bolt for the door in her designer heels. Detective Huang stopped her easily. "This is insane," she screamed. "Jerome, tell them, you signed those papers." "No," I said calmly. "I signed LLC documents. You forged the deed transfer." Then came the meltdown. The real Camille, screaming that I'd ruined her life, that I was a pathetic mama's boy, that I never supported her dreams, that she deserved that money for putting up with me for 7 years, that my mom was a bitter old witch who probably died just to spite her. That last bit got me. But I stayed calm. Mr. Brennan was recording everything. They arrested her for felony fraud, forgery, identity theft, conspiracy to commit fraud because of Rita's involvement. As they let her out, she played her last card. I'm pregnant. You can't arrest a pregnant woman. Jerome, tell them about the baby. I looked at Detective Morrison. She bought tampons 4 days ago. Checked the CVS on Meridian. Receipts in my email. The detective actually smirked. As they put her in the car, she screamed, I want a lawyer. Mr. Gallagher stepped forward. I'm a lawyer. Then you're my lawyer. Actually, he said, I'm a witness for the prosecution. The look on her face. I'll remember it forever. Final update. It's been 6 weeks. Time to wrap this up. Camille was arraigned the day after her arrest. Bail set at $50K. Her parents put up their house as collateral, the same house she tried to get them to refinance. She hired an attorney, some hotshot who took $20K up front from her parents, then dropped her when he realized how much evidence we had. Rita, the notary, took a plea deal immediately, testified against Camille in exchange for reduced charges. She lost her notary license, got 2 years probation. Camille tried everything, claimed I gave her verbal permission to sell, said she had power of attorney, no documentation, insisted she was pregnant and I was causing a miscarriage, said I was abusive and she was scared to ask permission, claimed mental illness from entrepreneur stress. None of it stuck. The evidence was overwhelming. 2 weeks ago, she took a plea deal. 3 years probation, 6 months house arrest, $10 fine, 200 hours of community service, and she has to pay restitution for all the deposits she put down with money she didn't have. Felony on her record forever. But here's where it gets really wild. Remember Philippe, the brand consultant? Turns out he and Camille had been having an affair for months. He was the one who convinced her to forge the documents. His plan was to be her business partner, once she had the money. Guess who was going to disappear with the cash once it cleared? Dominic, her brother, found their texts on her laptop when he was helping her parents clean out our apartment. Hundreds of messages about their future together, how stupid I was, how they'd run the business from Europe. Philippe was already looking at apartments in Switzerland. When Camille found out Philippe sold her out to save himself, she lost it. Violated her plea agreement by harassing him, got caught, and now might serve actual jail time. The divorce was uncontested. She got nothing. Judge saw the fraud conviction and basically laughed her attorney out of court. She tried to claim alimony. Judge reminded her she's lucky I'm not suing for emotional distress. Her parents won't speak to her. They nearly lost their house because of her bail. Dominic told me she's living in some studio apartment, working as a receptionist at a gym. No more entrepreneurship influencers, no more luxury wellness dreams. The best part, remember Thalia, whose wedding party she quit? Thalia started an actual wellness business last month. It's doing great. She posts about it on Instagram, where Camille can see it. Petty? Maybe. Karma? Definitely. Mom's house is safe, still in the trust, still mine to visit when I need to feel close to her. I'm in therapy, dealing with the betrayal. It's hard, 7 years of my life with someone who could do this. But last week, I went to Mom's house, sat in her garden. The roses she planted are blooming. There's peace there, quiet, no lies, no schemes, just memories of someone who actually loved me. Eloise came by with Dad. We had coffee in Mom's kitchen, told stories about her. Dad cried a little. She'd be proud of you, he said. She always worried Camille wasn't right for you. Mothers know. Yeah, they do. I'm doing okay. Getting better every day. Learned some expensive lessons about trust and verification, about seeing people for who they are, not who you want them to be. Oh, and Lucia? Our former cleaning lady? I helped her start her own cleaning business. She's got 5 employees now. Sends me pictures of her kids in their school uniforms, huge smiles, says she prays for me every Sunday. That's worth more than any wellness empire. To anyone reading this, trust your gut, document everything, and never ever sign anything without reading it, even if, especially if, it's from someone you love. Thanks for following along. Time to move forward. P.S. Mr. Brennan framed the forged deed in his office right next to his law degree. He calls it the most expensive piece of art he owns. Makes me laugh every time I see it.